By Emily Carter. Sarah Mitchell had been a teacher for nearly 15 years, but nothing in her career had prepared her for the moment that would change her life forever. It was a crisp autumn afternoon in Brookdale, a small town in Ohio where everyone knew each other. The golden leaves crunched beneath Sarah's feet as she hurried to the school cafeteria for her lunch break. As she stood in line, she noticed one of her students, Jake Turner, standing off to the side, staring longingly at the trays of food being served. Jake was a quiet boy, only 11 years old, with messy brown hair and a shy demeanor. He rarely spoke in class, but Sarah always saw something special in him, a quiet determination, a hunger for knowledge. But today, the only hunger in his eyes was real. Sarah watched as Jake hesitated near the cashier, checking his pockets. He sighed and turned away, heading toward an empty table, pretending he wasn't hungry. Something inside Sarah ached. She knew Jake came from a struggling family. His father had passed away the year before, and his mother worked 2 jobs just to keep a roof over their heads. Lunch money wasn't always guaranteed. Without a second thought, Sarah stepped forward and paid for an extra meal. She grabbed the tray and walked over to Jake, placing it in front of him. "Eat up, Jake," she said gently. His eyes widened. "But, Ms. Mitchell, I can't." She smiled. "It's already taken care of." Jake hesitated for a second, then picked up the fork. He took a bite, and for the first time in a long time, he didn't feel invisible. That small act of kindness became a quiet ritual. Whenever Jake was short on lunch money, Sarah would discreetly cover his meal. She never made a big deal about it. She never expected anything in return. Years passed. Jake moved on to high school, then college, and Sarah continued teaching, never forgetting the shy boy with the hungry eyes. Then, one day, everything changed. It was a Friday evening when Sarah found a letter in her school mailbox. The handwriting was neat and familiar, but she couldn't quite place it. She opened the envelope and began to read. "Dear Ms. Mitchell. You may not remember me, but I will never forget you. My name is Jake Turner. When I was in 6th grade, you bought me lunch when I couldn't afford it. You probably didn't think much of it, but to me, it meant everything. You made me feel like I mattered. You gave me hope on days when I had none. I wanted to let you know that because of you, I worked hard to change my life. I graduated college last year and just started my first job as a teacher. I want to be the kind of teacher you were to me. But that's not all. I have a surprise for you. Check your email." Heart pounding, Sarah hurried to her computer. When she opened her inbox, she saw an email from Jake. Attached was a receipt, a donation made in her name to the school's lunch fund, covering meals for struggling students for the entire year. Tears blurred her vision as she read his final words. "You changed my life with your kindness. Now, I want to do the same for others." Sarah wiped her tears and smiled. She had never expected anything in return for that one simple act of kindness, but in the end, it had come back to her in the most beautiful way. And in that moment, she knew, kindness never goes unnoticed. It lives on, passed from one heart to another, forever.